I'm Dr. Bill Berkowitz of Life Chiropractic. Welcome. Let's talk about arthritis in chiropractic. Can chiropractic help arthritis? That's a topic that comes up a lot for me. And really what we're talking about when we talk about arthritis in chiropractic, for the most part, at least right now, we're talking about osteoarthritis or degenerative joint disease. They're the same thing. You might call them wear and tear arthritis. How can chiropractic help? Well, let's look at that kind of arthritis. That arthritis it can develop following trauma, but it will often take years, decades, 10, 15, 20 years for the arthritis to really show up. In the meantime, whether it's from the trauma or pre-existing to the trauma, there's an imbalance. And with any imbalance, you're putting more stress on some joints than others. Think about it. When someone has a hip replacement, rarely do they need both hips replaced. They will have one hip replaced, but the other one's doing fine. Why? They take just as many steps with the other hip, but one wears out faster. There's an imbalance. I always like to use the analogy of a car and tires because it's pretty simple and we all understand it. If you put 4 brand new tires on a vehicle, but you didn't bother to balance the wheels or align the front end, you wouldn't expect to get the mileage that those tires are warranted for. You might get 50% of the mileage, even though they're brand new. And yet if you looked at the tread at 100 miles, or 500 miles, or maybe even 1,000 miles, you might be hard-pressed to see the extra wear. So when we're talking about arthritis in the spine, or the hips, we're looking at the balance of your pelvis. Is your pelvis balanced and moving properly? Are your hips moving properly? Are the joints of your spine moving properly? If they are, then every step you take, every movement you take, those joints are doing what they should do and they're not bearing unreasonable stress and tension. When one joint gets restricted, it passes that on to other joints. The joints that wear out are often the joints that are moving too much to compensate for a restricted joint. So, in answer to the question, yes, chiropractic's amazing for arthritis, but the sooner you come in, the better. Most of the time, people experience ongoing recurrent issues for years that aren't really that invasive into their lives. And yet, when it really gets bad and you take an x-ray, you go, oh, this is what's going on. You've got significant arthritis. So take care of it before it gets that way because chiropractic can greatly slow the progression of that. Make sure to subscribe to my social media channels and also check out my website, lifewithinchiropractic.com. Thank you.